Hey, I'm here to talk about 4.mbt.6, which is division. This particular video will be focusing on an introduction to division, including fact families, basic facts with and without remainders. If you could please just watch the video through one time first and then grab your math notebook and pause it where you need to copy your notes so that your math notebook looks like mine. Here we go. To start off with, if you could please head your paper with the topic we're learning about. And we're going to start with some vocabulary. The first one is a dividend. A dividend is the number that's going to be divided into groups. So from 63 divided by 9, the 63 is the number we're going to be dividing by. It's always going to be the larger number. Next one is divisor. Divisor is the number of groups to be divided into. So if I'm dividing 63 divided by 9, I'm putting it into 9 groups so that 9 is considered the divisor. The last vocabulary word for right now is quotient. Hopefully you've heard this word before. Quotient is the answer to a division problem. So 63 divided by 9 equals 7. 7 is the quotient. Please remember that the answer to a multiplication sentence is called a product. So that is the difference. Product for multiplication, quotient for division. Okay, the way that we're going to talk about division is by thinking about fact families. Multiplication and division share the same fact families, just like addition and subtraction. So I know you've done some fact families when you were younger with addition and subtraction. Very similar here, and if you know your division facts, then you automatically actually know your division facts. It's very helpful. So if you know that 5 times 8 equals 40, you also know that 8 times 5 equals 40. And you can see that we're reusing these same 3 digits. So over here, I know that 40 divided by 8 equals 5, and 40 divided by 5 equals 8. I'm just simply flip-flopping the numbers around in order. The other way to think about it is if you had this problem, 40 divided by 8, you would just say to yourself, okay, what times 8 gets me back to 40? And that would be 5. That's another way to help you think of it. Down here, I have another example of a fact family with 6 times 8 equals 48. So 8 times 6 also equals 48. Doesn't matter with multiplication which way the numbers go, but in division you always are going to have the larger number first. Then it doesn't matter which way, when your fact family, which one goes first over here. So 48 divided by 6 is 8, and 48 divided by 8 is 6. Another way you might see these fact families are these little houses that are drawn out, and you may have done that too when you were younger. You put like the number in the roof, and then you do the 2 multiplication problems, and then you do the matching division problems. So these are some examples for you to copy into your math notebook, and this is a good way to practice if you're just not feeling very comfortable with division yet. Making these little fact families, and we will be doing this in our live session, is very helpful to kind of get warmed up for what we're doing next. Okay, so we're going to use those fact families to help us answer some basic division facts. So just thinking about the multiplication facts that would be in this fact family are going to help you get the answer. So for example, if I have 21 divided by 3, I'm thinking of the fact family here. And so I know that 7 times 3 got me to 21. So 7 is the missing number. Okay, so you might want to pause the video here and try these problems on your own and then start it back up to check your work. Okay, so here we go. 30 divided by 6. So what times 6 got me to 30? That's going to be 5. 18 divided by 2. Again, what times 2 gets me back to 18? That's going to be 9. 72 divided by 8. So what times 8 gets me back to 72? Again, that's going to be 9. 16 divided by 4. So what times 4 gets me back to 16? 4. We're going to keep on going. 40 divided by 5. 8. 56 divided by 8, 7, 49 divided by 7, 7, 64 divided by 8, 8. Okay, and just remember, this is why you are practicing. So if you don't know your multiplication facts yet, you definitely need to have those memorized because your life's going to get really tough if you don't know those for division. So please continue practicing memorizing your multiplication facts. Also, I just wanted to point out that you will see division looking like this. You will also see division, this problem look like this. So 21 will be in this little L bracket and 3 will be on the outside. So you'll also see it like that. And then you would just put the 7 up top. Okay, so again, you'll see like for this problem, this is the same problem. So 30 divided by 6 also looks like this, and then the 5 will go on the top. Okay, so those are the two ways that you will see it. All right, so now we're going to move on. You're going to need to know another vocabulary word right now, and that is remainder. Remainder is what you have left over after you divide, whatever remains left, okay? So we're going to talk about some problems now that you're going to have a remainder, okay? In order to do these problems, you need to think about getting as close to the number, as close to the dividend as you can without going over. And you're going to use your multiplication, that X stands for multiplication facts, to help you do that. So for example, if I have a problem like 25 divided by 7, I start thinking and I really start writing down, especially if I haven't memorized my math facts good. You can write your math facts right next to these problems to help you. So I know 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 2 is 14, 7 times 3 is 21, and 7 times 4 is 28. I'm going to stop there because I cannot go over 25. So I know that this one is not going to be the right answer. I'm going to say, not that one, okay? It has to stay before. So I can see this is as close to 25 as I can get without going over. So I know that I'm going to write down 3. So 7 times 3 got me to 21, and now I have to count up 22, 23, 24, 25. So I have 4 left over. I have a remainder of 4. So that's how you do those, okay? So we're going to practice a few more of those. Here we go. So if you want to write these in your math notebook and give them a shot and then start the video up again to compare your work, go ahead and do that right now. This one's pretty easy, 13 divided by 2. So I just start thinking to myself, what times 2 is going to get me as close to 13 as I can without going over? I say, okay, well 2 times 5 is 10, and 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 7 is 14. That's too many. So I'm going to go back to this one because that's as close as I can get without going over. So I know that it was going to be 6 because 2 times 6 is 12, and I have a remainder of 1 left over because I have to get from 12 up to the 13. Okay. Over here for 58 times 8, I'm going to start thinking about what times 8 is going to get me as close to 56 as I can without going over. So I start writing down again. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2, and especially if you haven't memorized these facts, you can write them down and count them out on your fingers if you need to. So I'm going here. So I'm on 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 6 is 40. Not there yet. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 8 is, and I say, I can't go over, so I have to go back 1. So if I know that I'm at 56. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see that. So over here, I wrote my fact families, and I went down to 8 times 8 is 64. That's too much. I said, I crossed it off, and I'm going to go back to 8 times 7 is 56. So I know it's 7. I got to 56, and I have a remainder of 2, because 56, so 57, 58, 2 more. Okay, so writing out your facts on the side like this is very helpful if you have not memorized your multiplication facts. That's the strategy you should use until you memorize them. Okay, down here to this one. This one's pretty easy. Again, I'm thinking what times 5 gets me as close to 26 as possible. I know 5 times 4 got me to 20, and then I know 5 times 5 gets me to 25. 5 times 6 gets me to 30. I say, not that one. It's too far over. I need to go back here. So 5 times 5 is going to get me to 25, and I have a remainder of 1. Okay, this one right here. 33 divided by 4. So I start thinking, okay, what times 4 gets me as close as I can to 33 without going over? So you can start writing down, let's say 4 times 5 is 20. So that's getting closer. 4 times 6 is 24. Nope. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 9 is 36, and that's going over. So I cross that one off. I go back to this one because it's the closest I can get without going over. So I know it's 4 times 8. That got me up to 32, and I only have a remainder of 1. Okay, so that's our strategy. If you don't know your multiplication facts, that you need to write them out on the side, or even to check your work is also helpful. So this is basic division with remainders and also basic division without remainders, and we will work on this in class. Please let me know if you have any questions. Keep practicing and we will get this nailed down. Thanks.